games are. So the big one I think this week is, of course, we've done a lot more Fightcade, but also, of course, the Street Fighter 6 demo dropped, which
Yes,
for everyone who signed up for the multiple betas of Street Fighter 6 because they pre-ordered the game, is nothing new. But for us, that was the first time we got to play it.
yes. So let's get all of the stuff that we don't really care about out of the way. For example, Hololive fighting game. Exactly. By the way, I'm sick. I went from being sick in one way to being sick another way, which is great. But if I sound off, that's why. Anyway, yeah, Hololive fighting game called Idol Showdown. It's a fighting game featuring VTubers. I'm sure their fans are happy. I don't know any of these people.
They strike me as a bunch of perverts, honestly.
Who? The VTubers or the fans?
I don't know anything about the VTubers themselves, just the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a weirdo who gets horny for every female YouTuber ever, then you probably get even hornier for them to be a cartoon woman.
I mean, you just don't get it. They're 2D, except for all of them that are not, because they have 3D models. But you know.
Understand or care.
Then there's a new free-to-play fighting game with rollback on Steam called Rainbow Core Hypernova.
Hypernova?
Hypernova, yeah.
Oh, as in, okay. Noah as in Noah's Ark, or Nova as in a sun exploding?
Nova as in a sun exploding.
Okay, I thought you said Noah. I was like, wait, has this got something to do? If this is Japanese, does it have something to do with the wrestling company? No.
No, it's actually Noah fighting the animals on the Ark.
Yeah. No. He's the referee and the announcer.
Yeah.
Their animals are fighting each other. The fact that the flood came as an accident. Noah just wanted to set up a fighting tournament of animals.
Yeah. In the story, all of the animals that lose get thrown out of the ship when the flood arrives.
He didn't actually intentionally get 2 of each. He started with a bunch more.
Yeah.
The 2 he wound up with at the end just happened to be the best fighters of each set.
Imagine playing through arcade mode and then the last stage is just the ship is getting picked up by the water. It's raining.
Yeah. Every opponent you've beaten so far gets washed away.
Yeah.
Along with, billions of people.
Yeah. I guess one thing to note about this game for me is that, I haven't looked into this game yet, so I can't actually make a judgment on its quality. But the first thing that I saw people do after it came out is just complain that there aren't more people playing it because it has rollback, and like that's rollback is important and a good thing to have. If it's your only selling point, then there's probably a reason people aren't playing your game.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, okay, if you're gonna think that, God, we hit the same points every single fucking time, but not because people just keep talking about the same things, and for whatever reason we are a slave to this. But nonetheless, if you're expecting casuals to be sold on rollback, no, because they don't even know what it is. They just go bad internet or good internet. They don't understand why their game is even lagging, and they're more likely to blame their own internet or somebody else's internet than to blame the net code, or they're more likely to blame the net code even when it's their internet is the problem or somebody else's internet is the problem.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, for the pro community, yes, rollback is a big selling point. For anyone who has to play fighting games for a living, or for whom fighting games is one of their primary hobbies, yes, that is a selling point. But at the end of the day, there are also 8 million other fighting games. It's impossible to have enough time in the day to play all of them. And at the end of the day, is this game that nobody's heard of, that's a new entry in the franchise, that this main selling point is rollback, and other than that, apparently that's the main talking point, at least from what you're saying. You could be completely lying to me and fucking with me here, and I would have no way of knowing. You have tremendous power in this arrangement. But nonetheless,
the rollback is the only topic.
Nonetheless, I am joking.
Okay.
Do not get worried about that. That was a joke. Okay. Anyways, nonetheless, at the end of the day, is this game going to override? Unless it's got some special magic feature hidden within the coding that will get exposed on YouTube in a month, and suddenly the game hits like wildfire. This game is not going to preempt Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, KOF 15, Mortal Kombat 11. People who are still playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3, or people who are using Fightcade to still play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and JoJo's.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, see, there's a little bit of a thing there of you and me and Pink being in a special position. Because for the most part, we play fighting games with each other. When Street Fighter 6 comes around, I'm interested in playing I'm interested in playing pub matches, at least on recording. But other than that, mostly I want to play fighting games with you two, with Mike, with Soon, with Goku when we can get him. And so it doesn't really bother me if a game is a quote-unquote dead game. Right?
Yeah.
I'll always have people to play with. And for those of you who want to play fighting games online, I should go ahead and suggest either if you're really dedicated, find the tournament, but that's real dedication. Otherwise, just find the fucking Discord for the game. If there's literally no one else playing it, well, I'm going to be honest, if there's not a Discord for the game, there are games that are 30 years old and have Discords for them. Of people that are like, hey, want to hop on Fightcade? Sure. If your game is brand spanking new and it ain't got a Discord full of people playing it, there's probably a problem with the game. I'm just going to go ahead and take a shot in the dark. Again, not to make a complete judgment on a game I've never played or even seen video footage of. I could eat shit here. This game could be a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
But just going off the idea of there being literally no one playing it, even though it's new and it has, the big rollback, there might be bigger problems. And there we go. There's my 5-minute rant on a video game I have never heard of, never played, never even fucking seen, never got a whiff of. I haven't even been in the next room over while there was just scent of the game. I have not got a idea of the game. As a matter of fact, it has already disappeared from my brain. What were we talking about?
No one's our fighting game.
Oh, yes, that I remember. How could I forget?
But yeah, speaking of KOF 15, KOF 15 released a demo, and also is having is testing crossplay starting the 27th.
Boy, I wonder which characters are going to get cosplayed. I wonder.
Did I say cosplay?
I believe you did say cosplay, yes.
They're testing crossplay.
Oh! Crossplay, yes. Okay, I thought you said they're accepting cosplay. You almost certainly did say testing crossplay. Okay, I thought you said accepting cosplay. I was like, okay, so they're going to do a cosplay competition. It's going to be a bunch of angel costumes.
Yeah, it's Angel and it's Mai.
Yeah.
There's gonna be one ripped dude who cosplays Clark and that's it.
Yep. And it'll be Clark because Clark's not shirtless.
Yeah.
Because that still looks weird in ads. Nice.
But yeah, the crossplay beta will be available to everyone, even those who don't own the game, and it will feature all of the DLC characters up to now. I don't know what that means, but we'll see.
And you said it starts on the 27th, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So at the time of recording, we have 3 days. At the time of video release, there'll be 2 days. You have a warning.
Yes. Then, in the most shocking news of them all, Project 10 already in talks with PlayStation to bring the game to EVO. I can't believe it. This fighting game that is in development is talking about being shown off at the biggest fighting game event of all time. Wow.
Now, it should be mentioned that EVO is significant to fighting game fans, but it's not so significant to people who ain't fighting game fans.
Yeah.
Because some people sometimes get confused. This is what leads to a lot of people like, Mortal Kombat 12 is going to be shown at EVO this year. No, it's not. Mortal Kombat 12 is popular with fighting game fans on some level, but at the end of the day, Mortal Kombat is a series that still understands they need to sell to non-fighting game fans. So does Street Fighter, and so do a good couple other big fighting game franchises. So no, the game is not going to debut at EVO. It will debut before or after, and at EVO they will reveal Smoke.
Yeah.
Either which way, yeah. So having something revealed at EVO is not a shock at all. Don't know what it is, but at the very least, they'll still somewhat get the news, I'm sure. I mean, the big audience that they're playing to here that is completely outside of the usual fighting game base is they're going to be playing a lot to people who are already League of Legends fans, and they're not going to be at EVO.
Just wait until Riot buys in and makes EVO another league tournament.
You know, I see. Then the trouble is they'd have to move it to Korea instead of America and Japan.
That's true. But yeah, also, Tekken revealed Lily. She is still Lily. Wow.
I think I've mentioned this 1,000 times already, but I don't watch the Tekken 8 trailers because it's just the characters don't change. I know that they're just going to be the same they've always been, and that's not a bad thing. You know, there's a certain degree of security that comes from that. But at the same time, it's not going to be like, oh shit, the new character trailer just dropped. No, it's going to be like, oh, yeah, it's Lily.
Yeah. I watched it because I haven't watched any of these reveals in like 3 or 4 months. I haven't watched them since the first one. So I was like, hey, maybe I should actually give one of these a look. And I saw something that is actually a deal breaker. Like, you know, last time or maybe the time before, I forget. I said that I may be interested in Tekken 8 just because of some of the presentation things. Like I may be interested in it when it's all like clearance or something. No, they added something that is very bad. So remember in Soul Calibur 6, the clashes where it would take away control from you and just play a cutscene where you had to press a button and then that would decide whether you win or not in the cutscene.
No, I have no memory of that, but I didn't play Soul Calibur 6 for... I honestly, when I got Soul Calibur 6 for free, I went into the lab, I pressed buttons, and I was like, these buttons kind of feel bad, but I'll come back later. And I never came back later.
Ah. But yeah, those clashes have been added to Tekken. And those clashes were the thing that made me feel like, you know, even disregarding the supers in Soul Calibur 6, which shouldn't be there, or disregarding the fucking 4 different ways to just defend for some reason, and stuff like that. Like, you know, that was the deal breaker for me. in liking Soul Calibur 6, because I can put up with a lot of bullshit. But when a fight can turn into just back and forth, going into and out of the cutscene 4 times in a row, and it just feels like I have no control over my character. The pacing is gone.
No idea what any of these mechanics look like, so I have no opinions.
So yeah, they showed that off for Tekken, which makes sure, which assures that I too will not buy Tekken 8. So hey. And then yeah. Street Fighter.
Yes, the Street Fighter 6 demo. So you made Akuma, I believe I made Macho Man.
I wanted to make Shujinko, but the parts aren't there.
Yeah, and of course, part of you're hugely limited just because it's only the demo. You don't get access to clothes.
Yeah. But like, you know, for face wise even, like there's no beard similar or no hair similar to Shujinko's that I might have been able to make young Shujinko, but I wanted to make old Shujinko from Armageddon, and there's just nothing for that. Anyway, young Shujinko would just be like, well, I guess this hair is sort of similar, like, you know, in this one part. So yeah, instead I just
So
went
what
with
you
it.
mean is there's not the parts to make Gin.
Yes. So instead I went with Akuma because Akuma is one of the default just base characters that they made. And it's literally just a model of Akuma with different hair because they don't have Akuma's hair in the game.
Well, it's the bizarre thing is like it's not just a model of Akuma. No, they actually went into the custom character creation and put in a formula for Akuma.
Yeah.
Which admittedly is a good sign because you can make a custom character and they don't look out of place in the weirdo world of Street Fighter.
Yes.
Big respect.
But yeah, both of us played against the AI in normal fights.
Yes.
I played nothing but Ryu because fuck Luke, I guess.
Yeah. So Luke, I gotta mention this. The inevitable thing with Luke is that every Street Fighter V player walked away with PTSD of sand shot, sand shot, sand shot, sand shot, right?
Yeah.
So let me tell you, the oops all sand shot playstyle is a little bit different in this game where drive impact is a thing that exists.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the thing that everybody's came out saying is drive impact changes everything, right?
Yeah, I'll keep calling them focus attacks because that's what they are. But, you know.
There's pretty significant differences, though. That's why I don't like to call it focus attacks. There's pretty big differences.
I don't know. The only big difference that I can think of between the two is no charge time.
There's no charge time. It's blockable in the center of the screen. It's only unblockable in the corners. Let's see. Well, there's forward movement, which is on its own a big one. And focus attack only had one armor hit, didn't it?
I think so, but it also could be blocked depending on your charge.
Yeah. And well, you had to fully charge it. And you know, the uncharged focus attack, who cares? That wasn't, you know, the game defining thing. It's very clearly supposed to be a send up to the, you know, focus attack and an attempt at kind of going back and reintroducing that into the meta in the same way that drive parry is supposed to be an imitation of the Street Fighter 3 parry, though it's also massively different. And okay, there there we go. There's the silence of disapproval. Let's move on. Okay. Other than that, the big thing there is the estimation that we had of Street Fighter 6 of, okay, well, it looks like it could be fun just on basis of everybody has more stuff to do. I don't know how you felt coming out of it. It kind of sounds like you soured a little bit on the game since playing the demo. But
not really.
I'm kind of used to that being the grump silence.
No, I'm just suffering from blocked up sinus. I'm trying not to be loud about it.
So Luke was a character that I tried him for a little bit in Street Fighter 5, and I was like, this character's kind of neat. But I didn't really play him a whole lot, and I didn't really remember his playstyle afterwards either. But he is a neat, kind of oddball take on the Shoto, who is very distinctly comfortable at the mid to close range. He does not like the long range very much. He can do the long sand shots to put you on notice, but other than that, he kind of feels like, there's not a lot I can do here other than long sand shot, and long sand shot doesn't get a lot done in a lot of time. He feels like a character who is very reliant on either mid-screen footsies or very close range pressure, and of course you need to actually get the opponent to respect you to take the pressure.
Yeah.
Whereas Ryu this is the first time, so Ryu has always been classically associated as the jack of all trades character. But has he actually felt like that in a lot of Street Fighters? No. Most of the time, Ryu feels like the defensive, almost zoner. Well, he's not even really that good of a zoner. Ryu is just like the defensive fundamentals-based Shoto. And on some level, he has to change his game plan against every character, but against most of the cast, Ryu was a keep-away character, right?
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 feels like the first time, at least in my experience playing Ryu, which I've never been a big Ryu player, so forgive me if I make any misestimations of Ryu's playstyle in prior games, but in Street Fighter 6, Ryu really feels like an actual jack-of-all-trades character. He's got very solid options for being rushdown, for being a footsies character, for zoning, for the mid-range, close range, long range. He's got solid air options, ground options. He's got solid... I mean, Ryu always had the overhead collar breaker punch, but it was always kind of an odd duck move. It was just there in terms of it being an odd move to catch the opponent off guard every now and then. But with the changes to Drive Rush, it's now an overhead that you can connect very quickly from the mid-range. So Ryu has also now got very solid mix-up possibilities.
Yeah.
So Luke feels pretty good, but Ryu feels great.
Yeah, as for my experience with these characters, I didn't have Luke in 5 because I'm not paying money for that guy.
Yeah.
Mainly. And then in the 6, when you, or in the demo of 6, when you go into the exhibition mode, you have to play a tutorial telling you how to play the game, which forces you to be Luke. While doing the tutorial, I was like, God, I wish I was a real Shoto. And then I proceeded to use the Ryu and nothing else. And then for Ryu, well, I used to main him in Street Fighter 2 before Akuma existed. and then made the switch real quick.
Yeah.
More or less. But yeah, there's things that Ryu could do in the earlier games where, well, but there's the thing. Okay, so Ryu could do Rushdown in one version of Street Fighter 2, but that's it, one version. And this is just a thing of like, Ryu could do stuff like this or like that, but only in very limited time frames. So like Ryu can do Rushdown in the like one version of Street Fighter 2 where the air Tatsumaki works like on air dash for some reason.
Yeah.
Or like Ryu can do zoning really good in a game that doesn't have Sagat. Or, like, it's pretty much just to think of like Ryu has never has never really excelled, unless there was a spot in the roster that wasn't filled by anyone else, so he was just there.
Yeah.
In this game, it kind of feels similar, but at the same time, you can do much more. Like there's it hasn't felt like this in a while. Where I do an attack with Ryu and I can combo that. Like there is 100% of combo that comes out of this. I haven't been able to find it, but it's there. I know it's there.
I don't think either of us have put in enough time into Street Fighter 6 to get any real combos out, at least considering I'm not much of a combo fiend. And especially considering that there's no lab, which is where I do most of my learning.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, like, this is a problem for me too, because usually when I try to get combos done, I go to the lab too, and then I put it into arcade mode or whatever to make it so I can actually do it under pressure.
Yeah.
But you can't really figure out just ways to do combo with the links and all that, while Luke is also sandblasting your ass.
Yes. Which the Ryu AI is also pretty fond of checking you with Hadouken, so it goes both ways around there.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's both how Ryu and Luke are supposed to play. They use their projectile to check you and stop you from just doing stuff for free at full screen, you know?
Yeah.
Which I mentioned this to you in the text channels. But it's one thing in particular I think is fun is that Street Fighter 6 seems a bit like every character having such variety in their move sets and different avenues they can pursue. It seems like every character is going to feel a little bit different depending on the matchup.
Yeah.
And so with Ryu feels a bit zoner heavier here in 6 if you put him up against Luke, because Luke likes it a little more close. He's got a bit more mix-up tools, he's got a bit more pressure tools, and his one zoning tool, the sand shot, gets worse and worse the farther Luke is from his opponent. But when Street Fighter 6 comes out and there's going to be Dalsim or JP in there who are much bigger zoners than Ryu, then Ryu is going to be suddenly a lot more focused on drive rush collar breaker shot or his weird short range Hado that explodes, or the donkey kick, which is way better in Street Fighter 6 than it's ever been. Holy shit. Because, like, I don't know about you, but I never really got a lot of use out of donkey kick other than doing it for big combo in 3 or 5. Though, of course, I was never much of a Ryu main, ever. But Street Fighter 6, just regular light donkey kick and heavy donkey kick feel so good for footsies as Ryu.
I didn't really use donkey kick in 6 yet. Just didn't feel the need to. You know, you know my playstyle.
Yeah. And that's another thing is I think that, like, Street Fighter 6 already, if we were to share play the 6 demo, which I do intend to when it comes out on Steam and we can get other people in, is that I think your Ryu and my Ryu would be very different.
Yeah.
Because I was a real big fan of Dinjin Charge, which I don't imagine you were.
No, I never used it.
See? It's a free EX Hado. What's not good about that?
I don't need EX Hados. I don't need zoning.
Also, if you do Dinjin Charge and then you do the short range Hado, it's a free pop-up.
Like, that's the thing. Like, you zone with Ryu. I use Hados as a fuck you button. No, you don't get to do moves. It's for checking or it's for making sure that I can get like into the range of footsies that I want to be in. Otherwise, I don't really use Hados as much, and I don't need EX Hados to.
Well, even a Dinjin Charged Hado will still beat everyone else's projectiles. So if it's checking, then it guarantees you can't get counter checked, because Luke loves to counter check you with the sand shot, especially if he has the drive gauge to go for the EX one.
But if he's checking
it, the X1, it's funny every time to catch Ryu with that extra shot.
I mean, if he's checking it, unless it's the EX, I usually like walking with the Hado. Like the Send shot has a longer recovery than in well, it depends on the spacing and time, I guess. But generally, in my experience, the Send shot has had more of a recovery than the Hado and going in for hitting Luke.
Yeah. And of course, the Hado is a disconnected hitbox, so Ryu can move behind it, whereas Luke doesn't get that privilege.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, Luke is temporarily getting an extremely long arm like Dawson. Which, can I just say, like, thinking about the drive gauge spending, like, for Luke, double sand shot is really good for countering projectiles, but it spins 3 chunks of drive gauge. And that alone, the differences in how people spend drive gauge, like, there's differences for player expression just in terms of what moves you're going to be using off of a character. I've never been a big Tatsu guy for the Shotos, and I've never been super Shoryu spammy either. But, like, not just is there the difference in the move sets for player expression, but just the drive gauge, right?
Yeah.
Because there's all those options out of there that's universal mechanics, plus every character's EXs, which are different, different priorities for every character.
Yeah.
I mean, there's player expression just in terms of if you're going to use EXs at all, which EXs?
Yeah, which in my case, I forgot EXs existed at all. And I spent all of my drive kit. Yeah. Because like the most recent Street Fighter game that I've played is Street Fighter 3. Akuma has no EX moves in Street Fighter 3. So
yeah, and up until now, EX moves competed for meter with super moves.
Yes.
So for a hardcore player, it's always use EXs instead of supers. But for casuals, EXs are lamer than supers, so always use supers instead of EXs.
Like I think the only couple times that I did an EX move at all in the demo was when I wanted to style on the Luke AI and go for the Shin Shoryuken manually, which I do it usually just like close heavy punch and then into EX Shoryu.
Yeah. Which he's got both. Does he have both EX Shin Shoryu and Super Shin Shoryu?
I don't think he has a Super Shoryu.
No, he does. He does. Level 3.
No, he does. You're right. Yes, he does.
Level 3 is a damn good Shin Shoryu. It's a full-blown Shoryu to the gut, and the opponent doesn't have their eyes shoot out of their skull like they do in 4, because 6 is going for a little bit more realistic of an aesthetic. But it's a full-blown, blow all the wind out of your lungs, whoo, Shoryu to the gut, followed by 1 to the chin.
Yeah.
Which it seems like every level 3 super has 2 different animations, the other one playing under specific circumstances. I can't quite figure it out, because as Luke, I got the special version of his at level 3 at some point as the round finishing super, but then the next round I also finished with his level 3 super and I didn't get the special animation. So I'm not sure what changes it.
Maybe it's health state. So like you did with the special version.
I was wondering if it's when you're out of drive gauge, when you're in the exhaustion state, but it wasn't that. Because I only entered exhaustion state once, and my response was to run away.
You see, when I got exhausted, I just did all of the fucking Okizemi that I could.
Yeah, just try and keep the pressure on with standard stuff.
Yeah, you don't get to play the game. You get to lie on the ground. Yeah.
Well, the question becomes, like, the AI isn't smart enough to know, oh, he's exhausted, time to go for a drive impact. But a player will.
Yeah.
Because when you're out of drive gauge, what's your answer to the drive impact? Either have a good throw or maybe a super.
Yeah. I guess run away. Depending on where you are, run away. But
good jump timing can do it.
Yeah.
But it's like the throw. It's like it's a little bit of a risk there just in terms of, I hope I have good timing. The super selection, by the way. Which super were you really fond of? I'm going to guess not the Super Shin Shoryu, given that you didn't know it existed.
None of them. honestly.
Really?
I mean, I never liked Super Hado because I just don't. I can't tell you why. I just don't like it. Uh,
It's a
the
utility super.
yeah, I don't like the super explosion Hado either for similar reasons. It just feels like okay. It's okay. Call me petty. I think the short range exploding Hado looks dumb. The super version I won't like it for the same reasons.
It's neat to have Ryu be the one who's the Hadoken master compared to Ken, who's all kicks and uppercuts. But I think visually they could do a better job. Like Chun-Li, the Kakao show has always looked cooler than the Kakao Ken because Chun-Li puts a lot more emphasis into it.
Yeah,
I feel like with Ryu they could drive more emphasis on he is detonating a Hadoken in his hand.
yeah.
I'm almost expecting like it should look like Hulk Hogan throwing the fireball at Ultimate Warrior, but it actually works this time.
But yeah, that the Shin Shoryu. After you say it, I actually remember doing it at least once because I tried to see all of the supers for you anyway, and you know it's all right. It's what I expect out of Ryu. He's the base.
Eh.
And then once again,
Luke, I think
yeah,
the
go ahead.
cooler. Luke, I think, has the cooler super selection between the two of them. Because Luke's level 1 is sand shot spam, where he just goes nuts with his fists and spams sand shots. The second one is a punch combo where you just get bounced off the ground, like it almost kind of looks like the fucking basketball combo, but Luke's not jumping, right?
Ah, yeah.
And level 3 is he tackles you and does an MMA beatdown.
Eh.
Which standard variant looks kind of boring. It's just him pummeling on you. But the special animation he can get is much cooler because the opponent actually blocks and he just pile drives the opponent while they're blocking their face.
Ah.
I'm curious what the special variant of the Shin Shoryuken looks like.
He will cut you in half like it is Sagat.
You know what I think it is?
What?
I think now that I'm thinking about it, before I did that special variant of the Luke Super, my special meter wasn't saying level 3, it was saying critical art.
Ah.
Hang on, let me look up Street Fighter 6 critical art. Because that way we can find out for certain what sets it apart. All right, event hubs, don't fail me now. Okay, yes, it is a health threshold.
Okay, it's Desperation Supers. That's what I figured. Yeah, see, I
And then
yeah.
event hubs advertises to me the "Am I Gay?" test.
Ah, well, are you?
You know, I'll never know.
But yeah, like the AI never got me down enough for me to actually see critical arts.
Okay, so critical arts do more damage than standard level 3 supers, but they will change some of the properties.
Ah,
Luke's standard level 3 will pop the opponent up for a combo afterwards, but his critical art does not.
I see.
Okay, I'm now looking at somebody made a video compilations of comparing level 3s to critical arts, I guess because of the beta. And I'll just skip ahead to Ryu. A beta thing. I don't think I remember Luke's level 3 popping people up for a combo. Oh, that's what it is, right? The critical art version of Luke's level 3, Luke's critical art, the opponent actually tries to fight back and Luke just pummels them anyways. That's one of the big differences.
Ah.
is. Okay, so Ryugu's critical art version of the Shinshoryu. For one thing, the screen turns black and white filter. And for another thing, Ryu's fists are made out of lightning, and when he hits the opponent, they do the electric, X-ray effect.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's neat. That's a little touch. I like it.
So yeah, then the demo also features World Tour, the beginning of it.
Yes.
Allow me to complain about the control scheme for half an hour. No, but
We only get this shot to do it now because we're never going to use it again.
yeah. No, we'll have to play through chapter 1 again. So
that is true, but we both have already seen the cutscenes, so we can skip them, and we know that chapter 1, if you just rush it, is only 2 fights.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, once the classic control scheme kicks in, you can proceed to beat up mines.
Yeah. So yeah, the new control scheme, the simplified control scheme, not to my liking. I don't mind it being in the game.
It was never going to be. That's the thing. It wasn't made for you. It wasn't for you.
Yeah. Once again, we get around to the thing of, well, I don't like being forced to use these simplified control schemes, but I don't mind them existing in these games.
Sorry, what'd you say?
And I said that, like, I don't mind these control schemes existing, but I don't like being forced to use them.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely there to force new players who would have otherwise went, I don't want to play baby mode, to try it out.
And then, yeah. The chapter, or the demo contains chapter 1. Chapter 1 is the chapter where you're forced to use the control scheme. If you get to the end of the chapter, the game gives you a pop-up telling you that you can now switch to classic control scheme. If you go to the options menu.
Menu is grayed out.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Fuck you. You don't get to play with classic controls in the World Tour. Buy the game.
Well, it's not even like supposed to be like a buy the game if you want classic controls. It is if you downloaded this demo, you were probably someone who is curious about the game, but not really a big enough Street Fighter fan for it to be a big thing that you want the classic controls. We're going to continue to force you to use these controls so that you still feel like you're good at the game.
Yeah.
Like, it is absolutely a case of we are trying to make the player not be their own worst enemy in the case of these casual players.
Yeah. Otherwise, the story seemed okay. It's what you'd expect.
Well, it continues the long-running Street Fighter thing of, like, this weird attempt at being some weird pseudo-philosophical thing of, what is strength? What is the heart of battle? Which, again, I always have to say this. I'm sure these are perfectly logical questions to ask in Japanese. I don't know if the translation is fucked up or if it's just a cultural difference. But when you bring that over to English, when you bring that over to America, we're just like, this is gibberish.
What is strength? A miserable pile of secrets?
What is dexterity? Tell me, friend, what is the heart of urinating?
What is the heart of the cards?
The heart of the cards is losing a card game and being sent to hell.
True.
A children's card game. They play for keeps in Japan, man.
Remember when Yami-Yuki used to actually kill people for real?
Yeah.
Like, that's not even a joke. He used to do that before Yu-Gi-Oh!
Good God.
Before the series, like before the Yu-Gi-Oh series settled on being card games, it was just a weekly thing of Yami-Yugi beats someone at tabletop game, opponent dies.
Yeah.
I love that. Anyway, yeah.
They probably deserved it.
Probably.
Most people are shit. Therefore, it is okay for me to do whatever I want to other people because they probably deserve it.
Yes.
This totally is not the kind of logic that leads to people becoming the exact kind of person I am using to justify my own shittiness.
Yes. Speaking of Luke, no.
Okay to abuse everyone if you believe everyone deserves to be abused.
So yeah, the World Tour demo, it felt really weird to look at this Battle of Akuma, which is very much just a properly, made Battle of Akuma in a free roam setting. Like it's sort of,
you can fill together a lot of his movesets. Do you think that they're going to go in and add the DLC characters' moves to?
they've already confirmed that they will.
Okay, so then you can just make that fake Akuma real Akuma.
But yes, but at that point I will also have real Akuma.
That's true, but you can't play real Akuma in World Tour and then go around just raging demoning random civilians.
That's also true. But yeah, I hope that they add like a hairstylist, and that they will add more hairstyles. Cause like if I can remake like Retro Akuma and just play as him in World Tour and online, I guess just have two different variants of Akuma. One of them is actual normal Akuma. The other one is just it's just old as Goki. But yeah, like if they do that or something, like I don't know what I'll do with the hair because it was bothering me. They have a similarly like hairstyle, but it doesn't have the bits on the side. It doesn't look right. I love the hair that looks right for Akuma.
Yeah.
Then again, I guess if for release they will still not have any good hairstyles, I'll just give Akuma a mohawk. Fuck it. I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh man. So, how much time did you spend abusing random civilians once you unlocked the ability to do an uppercut?
I didn't.
So, I never understood the fun of going on a massacre in Grand Theft Auto or Skyrim, right?
Yeah.
But there is something infinitely funnier about the world of Street Fighter apparently being this world where it is perfectly acceptable to walk up to someone on the street and just uppercut them. And their reaction is not, oh my God, call the police. Their reaction is, okay, let's do this. Does World Tour Mode not more or less just confirm what we've always wondered? Street Fighter is just this world of freaks where you walk down the street and half the people have like level 1 ready to fight over their head. Is everyone in the Street Fighter world a martial artist?
Yes. Well, no. You see, okay, think of it this way: if I punch a random guy on the street, he's gonna get aggro. He's a level he's a level 1 martial artist because he doesn't know what the fuck a punch is, but he's gonna try to throw him anyway. It's the same deal.
But you don't have to press the uppercut button. You can press the challenge to a fight button, and he'll be like, "Yeah, let's do this."
Yeah, because that's TV hasn't been invented.
You can walk down the street and find an obese Korean grandma, and she'll be level 2.
Look, she's an expert user of the chakra.
Also, shout out to the fact that most of the civilians you can run onto on the street have a special move where they jump straight up in the air and throw a pocket knife at you.
Yeah.
Including Korean grandma.
I also just liked how the knives could be thrown like coins from Johnny.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, I have to wonder how much unique stuff did they make for just dudes you run into in World Tour, right?
Yeah.
Because there's not going to be anyone on the main cast that can throw a fucking knife. We're not adding Kano to Street Fighter.
Rolento.
That's true, but he's not happening.
But yeah, the like World Tour was fun. To answer your question, I guess once I unlocked the challenge thing, then I just grinded people for as long as I actually could get experience, and the game just cut off the experience.
Yeah. Once you get to level 5, it just stops. You just stop getting experience.
I think it's level 7, but I forget.
I could only get to level 5, then the XP meter just stopped going up. Because I couldn't get the last thing that unlocks a new special move slot.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right then. But yeah, I did that, and then I just went, okay, I guess I'll do the story missions and see like how long this demo actually goes on for, and longer than I expect, shorter than okay. How do I put this? I thought chapter 1 would be longer, and it does make me wonder how long the full thing is.
When you look at, if you pull up the map screen, you can see that the little stretch you have access to is like a 20th out of Metro City's map, and we know there's like 2 other cities that are unlockable as well.
Yeah, okay, so there's gonna be stuff.
America City.
Yeah.
Is this gonna? We see the statue of Hagar there, but man, will we ever in any of the Street Fighter games actually see Hagar? I'm not even saying playable. Just get to fucking meet the live man himself.
No, but there is a thing of him in the character creator.
Wait, we did get to see the live man himself in when they ported over the cross Tekken stages into Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Oh yeah.
Because there's that stage where it's the Mad Gear party, and then once you win the final round, or win the first round, Hagar bursts out of the floor and chases all the Mad Gear guys around.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to the fact that Mad Gear is still around by the time of Street Fighter 6, but has been so thoroughly whipped by Hagar that they are just sending out skinny guys wearing cardboard boxes over their heads, and that's the best they can do for thugs.
Yeah.
And I love that that's supposed to be the visual indicator that it's a thug and not a regular civilian, is that he comes at you with a cardboard box on his head.
Yeah.
Life is simple in the Street Fighter universe.
A bit.
Oh boy, but yeah, it seems like there's going to be some serious potential for japes in that particular game mode.
Yes. I mean, you can actually fly using the spinning bird kick. Imagine what it does to civilians.
Yeah. Did you find out that there's money on top of most of the cars?
No, I didn't go around that much.
If you can climb on top of most of the cars, and there's money on top.
How? I couldn't even find the jump button.
If you run into most waist-high objects, the player will naturally parkour.
Ah.
But for bigger jumps, of course, you can just use the Luke uppercut.
Yeah.
Which, the funniest thing in the world, since the little area you get to play is obviously Times Square, and it's got the little Times Square display area, or the big stands that Times Square has. I don't know what the point of those stands is for, other than, I don't know, having choirs there during New Year's. But you can go up, and there's always 1 or 2 or 3 people up at the very top of the stands looking down. And you can just run up and uppercut them in the back, launching them off the stands all the way down to the concrete. A fucking 40-foot drop onto concrete, and then they just get up and fight you.
Yeah, it's fine. They're okay.
Like, the game, World Turf feels like, okay, somebody in Capcom played Conquest mode in Mortal Kombat Deception and saw just how much pure japes that game is, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, we can make this game japesier.
Well,
Let's not just have where you can deck any given person on the street. Let's make it where then that he gets up and that starts a round.
You know, I can't wait to play World Tour and then have to wait until 4:30 a.m. on a Sunday in the India stage to fight Liu Kang.
Yeah. No. That's how you fight Zombie Ryu.
Yeah.
I can't wait for there to be a moment where our character goes to prison and sits in it for 20 years.
Yeah.
And no one else ages. Shujinko in the space of Mortal Kombat 1 to Mortal Kombat Deception, which is assumed to be a 15-year time span? Somehow, nonetheless, I guess in large part because there's a pool of aging he steps through at one point, I think, in the Chaos Realm. I think it's supposed to be part of it, but nonetheless, while Liu Kang ages 2 years in the space of 15 years, Shujinko goes from 14 to 60 or 70. Time just hits some men harder, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that they like a lot of ways. It honestly kind of feels like a fully realized conquest mode, because conquest mode, the gimmick always was, okay, you turn into a random character. Okay, that's just kind of lame. Here it's like you are whoever you want to be, including Mixman. And we see in the demo that you can upgrade the amount of special move slots you have, right?
Yes.
Where is the upper limit on this?
Good question.
At what point does this stop?
But it has to stop, but it has to stop because they also advertise that you can fight with your World Tour avatar online.
You can, but the footage they showed was this guy doing this big, absurd, combined Luke, Chun-Li, Guile combo. Where he did a Shoryu and then in the air did air lightning legs or something. And then landed before the guy and hit a flash kick or something absurd like that. Like, is this supposed to be is this explicitly... Okay, so Mortal Kombat Armageddon in particular, not to go to another Mortal Kombat game, but Mortal Kombat Armageddon had a similar setup where you could make a custom character and you could take any move really from any character. And that led notoriously to Mortal Kombat Armageddon having really, really scuffed custom characters that were mega OP. Right?
Yeah.
So sometimes people would go into Mortal Kombat Armageddon and just see who can make the most scuffed character. And it didn't feel like it was supposed to be that broken, right? It felt like the custom characters were supposed to be balanced. They just weren't.
Yeah.
This kind of seems like it is explicitly a game mode that is not so much who is the better fight game player. It's more so who can make the most fucked character.
Yeah. Okay, I have a bad idea though. Can you make Kim Kong-Wan?
Dude. I mean, if they're adding DLC moves, you will be able to create any character, right?
That's true, yeah.
The question will then arise of, can someone mod the PC to allow you an infinite custom character cap? Because by that point, people can just sit down and make most of the iconic fighting game characters of history through some discount, if not through, actual appearances, then through function over form, right?
Yeah. And I mean, like, just at that point, we'll just make Street Fighter 6 into Street Fighter 6 versus Marvel versus Street Fighter 6, pretty much.
Let's be real here. Let's think. If, let's say, you wanted to make Kyo, right?
Yeah.
If you had to make a discount Kyo, store brand Kyo out of moves stolen from other regular Street Fighter characters? I mean, you can get the Rekka off of Fei Long.
Yeah. You can get a Shoryu.
You can get a Shoryu.
You can get the literal RED kick off of Ken. So.
Yep, Ken has the RED kick. And what's his little dashing fake grab? What's the best equivalent of that?
We can leave
For
it
that
out.
one, the closest equivalent, you might just have to give him the Zangief running power bomb.
I mean, he doesn't always have that, so we can just leave that one out.
That is true, but it feels like you either need to give him that or the ground wave, and I don't think there's a ground wave in Street Fighter.
What would you give him for his Tatsumaki? Because he has one of those stinky raising ones.
Gin has that.
Ah, yeah.
Gin and the twins both have it.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, you could just give all the twins moves to Kyo and it'd evoke part of the aesthetic.
Yeah. All right, let's make Ryo Sakazaki. Just take Ryu's model, change color.
Dude, the easiest one in the world is to do art of fighting. Yeah. Robert, just take Ken and put him in a suit and dye his hair black.
Yeah.
Yuri, take Sakura, give her every other Shoto's moves.
Take Sakura, give her Akuma's moveset.
Yeah. Take Akuma, and then just make him white and a chick.
Yeah.
Not white, make him pale and a chick.
Yeah. But there would be some problems, like Terry.
Terry, you wouldn't really be able to do it all.
Yeah. Or like Yamazaki.
Hang on, it just occurred to me. So here's the thing, right? You also you take all of the normals of a given character, right?
Yes.
Like, how much of a Seth abomination can you make? Okay, I've got Dhalsim's normals, but I've also given him the Sonic Boom, the SPD, the Shoryuken. Like, okay, this is a character who has no bad matchups.
You're literally just listing Seth's moves from Street Fighter 4.
I actually am, but at least Seth has even less health than Akuma. At least that balances it somewhat. And to be fair, Seth's Sonic Boom is not nearly as strong as Guile's.
Yeah.
Seth's Sonic Boom, for all intents and purposes, is a Hadouken. But God, yeah, SF4 Seth is so wacky. You can kind of see why he's one of those characters going into 5 where it's like, okay, torch everything and just make a new character, but call him Seth.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And then for SF5 set, they just went, okay, so what if Dio?
Yeah. But not any of the 2 Dios that already exist in Heritage for the Future. New Dio.
Yes, we'll design a completely new Dio. For funsies.
And for pain.
Yeah. But yeah, like,
what if Dio was a hot chick?
I mean, allegedly he's already a hot guy, so you don't need to change much.
Yeah, I guess both variants of Seth are winners for somebody. SF5's male Seth looks like an alien, though.
Yeah, because the proportions are wrong. Because they put the SF4 set model, or something similar, on the schedule of the SF5 set model, and the SF5 set model is shorter. If you fight SF4 set in SF5, then they actually have it modded so he's the right height. But if you play set, then the set is shorter.
Face. He looks like an alien.
That's just Set's SF5 or SF4 face.
But he had like strong cheekbones. He didn't have like that weird head shape that he does. Nonetheless.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's also the question of, can I make a character that just has all the projectiles?
I will call this character Athena.
Because I mean, a certain degree, for the most part, most of the fireballs, there would be no point in getting all of them because, the first fireball would already have dissipated by the time you throw the second one out. But can you get Sonic Boom and throw lots of slow Sonic Booms? Throw on Yoga Fire. Let's see, Sand Shot. Boy, that just from those three, that's a projectile. That's a projectile each for all occasions. Does anyone on the Street Fighter 6 cast have a low fireball?
Not yet, I don't think.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Unless JP.
JP, yeah, probably. Oh god, JP altogether. Yeah, JP just take all of his moves. Fuck it. Which, what was I going to say? Does anyone in Street Fighter really, other than Sagat, have a low fireball?
Dalsim sometimes has a low fireball. Well, it's not a low fireball in the sense that he's the same fireball he shoots but low. It's a shot that travels the ground world. Birds. Wow. Anyway, yeah.
Was that back in Alpha? Because I'm thinking, when I think of like low fires Dalsim, I'm thinking Fire Carpet.
It could have been in Alpha. I forget.
Because I don't recall Dalsim ever having a low fireball. I recall him having a straight fireball back in the classic Street Fighters, and now he has an up fireball, but never a low fireball.
I feel like I remember him having a variant of Yoga Fire that went low, but it dissipated very fast. You couldn't really use it for zoning as much, unless you could use it for zoning, but not too much. It didn't go the full screen.
I guess I'm just not a big Dalsim player, so I don't know.
I'm not a big Dalsim player either. I just ate a lot of those. But yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You did hear that?
What?
Okay, never mind then. Good.
So yeah, World Tour looked fun. I'll look for
what World Tour needed to be was here's the game for casuals to just dick around and do stupid stuff. And if anyone else also wants to dick around and do stupid stuff, it's still good for them. But this is the mode for casuals to get their money's worth out of the game, and it looks like it will succeed on that front.
Yes. Like every time we talk about we've talked about Street Fighter 6. I went, well, everything about the game looks good. What are they fucking up? And like outside of the online, which we didn't have all access to, literally, it seems like they've got everything right, more or less.
Yeah.
Like the extra battles are not to my taste. They don't have to be. I don't have to play them. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, on top of that, like, it did look like some of the extra battles. Okay, so part of the extra battles were, of course, good God, I'm just noticing a lot of Mortal Kombat similarities here. And I'm not going.
Cart Fighter.
I don't think Capcom pays that much attention to NetherRealm.
Puzzle Fighter.
But boy, extra battles feels a lot like Test Your Luck in Mortal Kombat 9. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I played the one extra battle that they have in the demo, which is to do extra battles for those who didn't play the demo, or who haven't been able to, or whatever. The extra battles work off of a thing of you choose a rule set and you choose a gimmick. So the ones in the demo are, the rule set is you win off of knockdowns. You need to get 5 knockdowns and that wins you the round. And the gimmick is bull.
Yes, bull. Literal bull. We're not saying bullshit, we're saying bull.
Yeah, just an actual bull runs in and knocks you down.
As a matter of fact, the funny thing is, I was expecting the bull to be like, Test Your Luck mode in Mortal Kombat 9 was very much goofery because most of the special conditions would always catch you off guard and interrupt your combos. The bull does not catch you off guard. You get good warning that the bull's coming.
Yeah.
Which then means you, of course, logically then are like, okay, now I'm gonna make the opponent fucking stand still until he gets hit by the bull now.
Yeah. But yeah, so funny story about the extra battle. I loaded in. I chose the rule set and whatever. I loaded in. I got the 5 knockdowns before the bull showed up.
Nice.
So then I went, okay. And then I went rematch because I want to actually see the bull.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, as long as it's the 5 knockdown game mode, the majority of moves are pointless. It sweeps and throws, baby.
Yeah. Welcome to Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
We have sweeps and we have uppercuts.
The thing I find funny is, like, the bull and the other things, for the most part, in the same category as the bull, are, okay, here's the funny laughs party mode stuff. But then the 5 knockdown stuff, I'm like, you know, I wouldn't be shocked if there are some people that actually take this particular game mode seriously.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they'll run tournaments, but this definitely seems like the thing they do at EVO before the tournament or running on the side, right?
Yeah. I hope that they expect upon the gimmicks, and it's just like, you know, you get a second, both of you get a second opponent called the falling father figures.
Yeah.
They licensed out Geese. He's not a playable character. He's just in the game to follow you.
I feel like for Street Fighter, it shouldn't be Geese. It should be Nash. But he's dead again, and Guile cries every time. Again, every round he dies.
And they have like a full minute of Guile crying. Very, like, hyper-realistic Guile crying.
What if they have an alternate version of the bull mode that's instant death? If you get touched by the bull, it's instant death. But instead of a bull, it's you get warned that coming in from off screen is Akuma doing the Shogoku Satsu.
That could be funny.
It's not Akuma. It's Shin Akuma. It's God Akuma. There's a 0.001% chance that God Rugal comes out instead.
Yeah.
Shout out to also the little video tutorials you can watch, because they do a pretty good job of explaining, okay, the point of this move is to do this and that and another. And that's pretty nice. That's pretty convenient, especially if there's a character that's like, I don't want to actually sit down and learn this character, but I'd like to understand what the hell he's doing with this.
Yeah. Did you notice the mistranslation that they had? Because I didn't.
No, I did not notice the mistranslation. What was it?
So while the game is telling you about the importance of sweeps and what they do, the game calls it footsies.
Oh yes, I did notice that. I thought it was so weird, and I was sitting there like, oh boy, this is going to lead to a whole generation of people using the wrong terminology.
Yeah. I hope that they can fix this before release.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
Replace the text box with a hyperlink to the glossary.
Yeah. Oh man, which does remind me. Saying footsies reminds me of when we played Darkstalkers the other day, and Pink discovered assies.
Yeah.
And I'm just really hoping that Pink didn't get too soured on that game by Anna Karis.
Yeah.
Anna Karis, I think we've solidly figured out. Anna Karis is my guy, and no one else's. Everyone else needs to stay the fuck away.
I was surprised that my John Talbane was that good. Because I figured, hey, I have trouble against the AI. The W actually plays Darkstalkers.
Apparently not a fuck enough. Christ. So yeah, we played a lot of Fightcade also. I think we pretty well hit everything we can out of the Street Fighter 6 demo.
I mean, the only... Well, we didn't talk about the actual announcement that led to the demo, the announcements.
Was there another announcement?
Yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog is a bitch ass motherfucker. No, but the they
No.
they announced the DLC for Street Fighter 6 is the people we thought it was. Akuma is Shinakuma, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, he is just straight up Shinakuma. He like, is it supposed to be that everyone by the time of Street Fighter 6 is stronger, so now Akuma's just stopped holding back?
I don't know. That could be a neat thing for his story if they actually do something with it, I guess. That or he's not actually Shinakuma. He's just fucking. He's just very old.
But he's somehow gotten stronger with age.
Yeah. Like he's not Shinakuma. He's Grey Akuma.
Yeah.
Akuma the Grey.
Akuma gets thrown off a fucking staircase during World Tour. And Elena is there, and Elena goes, Akuma! Oh! And then later on, who on Earth would be the arrogant? Like, later on, Sakura, Blanca, and Sakura is simultaneously Frodo and Aragon in this allegory.
I guess.
So Sakura, Blanca, and Dan are all standing together, and they see a great white light. And Dan gets ready to throw a Godoken at it. But no, behold, I have returned. It is I, Akuma the White.
Yeah.
And it just hard cut to Akuma fighting somebody falling down off the staircase. He didn't even fall with anyone. He just found someone while falling down and started fighting them.
So where in this pipeline do we get to Rare Akuma?
Hang on. If Akuma becomes Akuma the White, does that mean that Ryu has become fucking a super industrialist that's in league with M. Bison?
Yeah.
Ryu is starting to turn the temple into a horrible factory deathland.
You see, the power of nothingness says that we should return all to nothing. The easiest way to do that is by global warming, I guess.
Ryu started making an army of man-demon hybrids.
That's why can is poor now. Ryu Ryu cheated all of Ken's money out from Ken.
Can I borrow the Masters Corporation for 3 minutes? Sure, bud. Ryu, what did you do?
That's why Ken's wife left him too. He gave the Masters Corporation to Ryu. We figured it out.
JP's actually more or less innocent here. You get to the end and you beat up JP, and JP's like, I was holding him back.
Ryu transforms into Kage.
Ryu finds Kage and eats him.
Yes.
Haha, I am the evil Ryu. But you didn't understand. I didn't need a demon. I'm naturally a piece of shit now. Get in here. It's like a reverse rosing.
You know, we say these dumb hypotheticals, and I'm like, man, that would actually make Ryu interesting again. After 40 years.
Combat solution to Liu Kang being boring was to try and turn him evil, and it didn't really work out that well. But then again, they more or less didn't do it either.
Yeah, like
they kind of bitched out on it.
Yeah, I mean the problem with Mortal Kombat turning Liu Kang evil isn't that Liu Kang is evil. It's that time bullshit.
Yeah. It's that they promised, hey, Mortal Kombat 11, watch out, Liu Kang's the Demon King now. And then Mortal Kombat 11 was like, gotcha, bitch. Now it's Evil Elder God again.
Yeah. But yeah, like actually, even Ryu could work. The problem is that they spent the last 40 games talking about how Ryu has gotten past his demons and he won't turn back to the Satsui no Hado. And the only time that he actually like gave into the Satsui no Hado was at the start of his journey in Alpha. So
Yep.
like unless they want to change teaming a bit and be like a part of becoming a better fighter and growing is accepting your demons. I don't see them actually letting Ryu become a character.
No.
Although one thing that I would like is if they had the Street Fighter 3 manga. I think that's where it was. That one scene where Ryu walks up to Akuma and he's like, "Akuma, what is the meaning of life?" And Akuma walks over, breaks his head, and goes, "Start a family, dumbass," and leaves.
Yeah. For a second, I thought you were gonna say the scene where Ryu walks up to Chun-Li and they have sex, and I was gonna be very angry with you.
Ah. I'm sure a lot of people would like that scene, but not.
Need it? We've already got Chun-Li showering.
That's true.
Anyways.
So yeah, that is Street Fighter 6, I think.
Yes, that is Street Fighter 6. So, we played a lot of things on Fightcade.
Yes.
So, we exposed Pink to some new games. We tried some new games ourselves. Now, I'm trying to recall all of them. It's been so many. You know?
That was the Fighters Destiny series, or not Fighters Destiny, Fighters History? Yeah, Fighters History series.
Fighters History, Breaker's Revenge. Which, Fighters History, jank-ass Street Fighter 2 competitor, I nonetheless really enjoyed it.
I didn't.
It's
It
not
is
bad, so people who like it.
now it's just a thing of like, I play it and my mind is immediately, okay, so this is Street Fighter 2 at home. Why do I not just play Street Fighter 2?
Yeah.
Like none of the characters, none of the characters struck me as anything special, and like that's like the big thing. If I don't like any of the characters, then I don't care about your game.
Yeah, that was definitely a big difference maker because for Fighters History, like I did really dig that whatever the name of the totally not Bruiser Brody guy.
Yeah,
was.
Marstorius.
Mars Torius, you're right. I dug Mars Torius. I thought Mars Torius was cool. But Mars Torius was very clearly Zangief with a couple changes. There was not a so easily pointable out Akuma with a few changes.
Yeah. Because at the time, Akuma didn't exist, probably. But at the time that they made it, anyway.
Yeah. And you didn't have Karnov there. You didn't get to try Karnov going, balloon!
Yeah. Also, those inputs in Karnov, just the fucking the diagonals. Then you go up, then you go diagonal, then up, then diagonal.
Yeah.
And you do the fucking Iron Man Infinity input and you get a Hadouken.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Revenge, I thought had a lot of really cool character designs, but at the end of the day, I thought it was really neat, but it did not resonate with you, and I don't want to play it by myself. But the Middle Eastern dude was really cool, but we hit everybody on the roster, and after that, yeah, you very clearly were sick of it. So it's like, fair enough, let's move on to a game we both enjoy. You know?
Yeah. Oh, then what else did we play?
Well, if we're just sticking to what the two of us played on that given day, well, we did have. I don't. know how much we want to count this necessarily as a fighting game, but that would have been when we hit Giant Graham.
Ah, yeah.
Which definitely drew more inspiration from fighting games than your typical wrestling game.
Yes.
And was very. It doesn't. I was about to say it was kind of smelly, but no, it was actually really interesting. At the same time, yeah, that's a fucking dated game right there.
Yeah, like Giant Grab, the way I can put it, Giant Grab to me was an enjoyable experience. I do not have the brain space and the time to dedicate to it to actually learn more than like a guy.
Yeah.
And learning a guy is a requirement to actually play the game. You can't just be like, hey, I know how to punch, I'm just gonna punch. No. You need to know that if you press punch after doing a spear motion, a scorpion spear motion, then the guy does this punch specifically. And if you don't know that the guy does that punch, then Bobo Brazil, make sure you know what the fuck a headbutt is.
Yes. The Dick Destroyer will also throw you with a headbutt, but at least he does a couple moves afterwards instead of just doing more headbutts.
Yeah, Bobo Brazil legitimately spent a match picking me up, headbutting me, hard knockdown, picking me up, headbutt, hard knockdown.
If he was feeling generous, he'd let you get up on your own and then headbutt you.
Yes. Like he headbutted me out of the ring, then came out of the ring, picked me up, and headbutted me again.
Like that's Puerto Rico shit, right?
Like it
continues, and the fans are going nuts and more nuts, and the fans start to run away because they're not certain Bobo won't start headbutting them.
Yeah, like that's Bobo. That's IO Bobo Brazil actual real money.
Shit. Jesus Christ!
I'm down on my rent, and I'm renting the place from him.
It's a really interesting idea having fighting game special move inputs for your wrestling moves. And it does make each character feel more distinctive just to do the moves. However, for one thing, it's a wrestling game. Wrestling games generally have pretty big rosters. And on top of that, because it's a grounded wrestling game, it's not, All Stars is a little more over the top, so you'll have instances where it's like, well, only Hulk Hogan can do this, and only Randy Orton can do that, and only Kofi Kingston can do this. Because All Stars
only Jimmy Snuka can kill his girlfriend and get away with it. That's his special move. All Stars.
Yeah, he can do it. It's a move that only works on black people. The Hogan Kofi Kingston matchup is a bad matchup for only one reason.
Yeah.
Anyways. And All Stars had universal inputs. Everyone had more or less the same inputs except for like differing combos. But like Giant Graham, it was cool, but at the same time, it felt like it was a little bit time wasting. Because in terms of visuals, every character was different. In terms of input, every character was different. But in terms of function, everyone was more or less the same.
Yes.
Which is how it is in most wrestling games, because they're generally grounded. And generally, wrestling is a thing that is not actually about what is the best kick. Because generally given, most wrestlers, if Cena throws an overhand punch and, Triple H throws a gut kick, they're both equally viable wrestling moves.
Yes.
Because wrestling is very kayfabe, and it's supposed to be, this move is weak when it comes from this guy, but strong when it comes from this guy. If Triple H does a cutter, whatever, you get up and you keep going. If Randy Orton does a cutter, you're dead.
Yes.
It's not built to be like a fighting game. So it has to be exaggerated when they make wrestling into a fighting game. And Giant Graham, and though it has a lot of really cool things it does kind of feel like you're just wasting brain space for the same thing that you would get out of WWE 2K or Fire Pro.
Yes. And the only thing,
still, it's a really cool idea.
Yes, like the amount of personalization in Giant Graham was great. The only big thing that I can point out that Graham has that other wrestling games don't is the sheer RVD lengths of moonsaults that you can do.
There's that. the complete ignorance of jump range. But there is actually another one there of, for one thing, reversals having counter reversals, which, to be fair, there is one other wrestling game that has that, which is All Stars. Which you've seen the Super Best Friends play All Stars, right?
I've seen many people play it, yeah.
Okay, so then you must have seen the spot they did in All Stars, the Super Best Friends did in All Stars.
Yes, where they just kept going.
Yeah, just infinite arm drags.
Yeah.
Infinite arm drags. They tumble out of the ring and they keep going up the entrance ramp into the back through Gorilla.
Yeah.
Somebody is just sitting backstage sipping on a coffee. They see Ricky Steamboat and Rey Mysterio arm dragging up and down the halls. They're both screaming. Neither will give up. So even though there's a dude with a camera chasing after it, and it's playing on the Titantron, and the fans are chanting, "Arm drag forever."
Yeah.
But Giant Graham in particular, it was really awesome how you could go for a power bomb. The opponent reverses it and, does the old, kneeling to stop the power bomb. And then you can reverse that and start elbowing him in the back and lift him up and power bomb him anyways.
Yeah.
Or you could do inputs in the middle of a Tiger Driver to change it into a Tiger Driver 91.
Yes, like the
flex into a Brain Buster.
Yeah, being able to modify the moves while they're going was also cool.
Yes. And it's cool to have moves that you can keep inputting and it keeps going until it gets reversed. That you can do short arm lariats and it'll keep going every time you input it until the opponent reverses it. Or fucking Hiroshi Hase can just keep rock bottoming you on your neck until the opponent reverses it.
Yeah.
I feel like that alone has made Hiroshi Hase a name for the two of us. And yes, I did get a Fire Pro setup where he can rock bottom you on your neck.
Nice. But do you have the Avalanche version? Which like is literally the normal one is
pretty sure the Avalanche version is one of the default moves in the game.
Ah, nice. Because like the normal hard way
rock bottom.
Yeah, hard way rock bottom Testplex, whatever other adjectives you can add, I guess.
Like hard way rock bottom Plex.
But yeah, like that's brutal. That's a you'll break your neck move. Doing it Avalanche, it ensures that you will also die in the ring.
Die gloriously for the sake of Japan.
Yeah. Like, the chances of a broken neck goes up from, like, I don't know, 65% to 95%, I want to say. Just by doing it Avalanche.
Atsushi Oneida, wrapped in barbed wire, looks on and goes, "Pussy."
Yeah. But yeah. Then, let's see. I did try a Toy Fighter, because it was recommended to us through Fightcade.
I did not, so that was just you.
Yeah. And it is, remember how I said that Fighter's Destiny, which I have since looked up the series. It's Fighter Destiny, just the one.
Singular.
Yeah.
Only one guy's destiny.
But yeah, Fighter Destiny. Remember how I said that it doesn't really have a health bar, it has a scoring system?
Yes.
Toy Fighter is a mix of the two. So it does have health bars, but instead of rounds, you have a certain amount of score you need to hit, and you get points by doing things. So if you disable someone's health bar, if you get it down to 0, that's 1 point. If you get someone with a hard knockdown, as in like throw them or whatever, that's 2 points. And I don't know what any of the other things are, because those are the only 2 inputs I found.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Also, Toy Fighter has a ring around the characters, and you can climb the ring, but I haven't been able to figure out how to dive.
I did see the ring in the picture that they have as the thumbnail for it on Fightcade, but I didn't understand. If I figured it was supposed to be like a sumo ring. You get knocked out of it, you lose.
That's what I figured too, but no, the ring moves with you. Like, I'm not sure what the ring... Like, I don't understand the ring myself. I know that if you move one way, then the ring moves with you. You can't get thrown out of it. If you get thrown into it, then you just bounce off. So, like, I don't know.
Okay, wait, is it like that Dungeons and Dragons fighting game where you do a big bump after getting hit in the back by it and you can knock over the opponent?
I don't think you can knock the opponent over with it, but you can do a big bump off of it, yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be an interesting game for us to look at eventually. I only
the amount of one-off possibilities is infinite.
Yes. And then we did play other fighting games together.
With the Pinkerton, yes.
Yes, Shin Nihon.
Oh God, yes. The New Japan series of wrestling games, all of which suck.
Yes.
At the very least, the 2D one sucked in a funny way. Well, no, there's funny stuff in the 3D one, just in terms of miss a regular standard elbow drop, cripple your arm.
Yeah.
Plays the referee, he's the strongest character.
You did 2 drop kicks. Your back is now red. You have broken your ribs.
Take a suplex. Sell for 10 minutes.
Yes. Also, hitboxes are a lie made by the America.
No countouts if you're on the entrance ramp.
Yeah.
You can only do cool moves if the opponent is dizzy.
You can only do anything else, like you can only do 2 types of punches unless the opponent is dizzy, in which case you will switch over to these other 2 punches. Same for grabs.
Knife, chops beat everything.
Yeah.
The 2D games, at the very least, there was the humor of, for one thing, just constant. Everybody's just throwing their finish out. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And just constant collision bumps. The roster featuring several people who are forbidden. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't one of those had both Rick Steiner and Chris Benoit on the same roster?
I think so. I think that was the latest one.
You know, back when Benoit was Pegasus Kid.
Yeah.
So it's double forbidden. Double curse. Throw in Snuka, we got the triple curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of those were bad. And that's about it for the wrestling games. However, with Pinkerton, we played a good bit of Marvel 2, but not as much as I expected to. And yeah, it's Marvel 2, baby. It's Marvel, baby.
Yeah.
Hang on. You've seen the Marvel Baby video, right?
Probably.
Where's your curly mustache at? That's so Pringles. Fuck the Knicks. Yeah, Marvel 2 is one of the most beloved fighting games ever for a reason. It is not an accident.
Yeah, it has Cable. And also Cable.
Oh.
And Cable 2.
Oh, God. But the 4 pillars are there in force, huh?
Yeah, the four pillars. Cable, and Cable.
Well, I think I've mentioned this before, but the thing I love is that the other 3 out of the 4 pillars, it's like this character has a lot of solid possibilities. They can do rush down, they can do zoning. And with Cable, it's like this character's just a bit shit outside of his instant super.
Yeah.
But like, it's always crazy when you first figure out, oh, fly. Oops, all overheads. I can just pressure you with this.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Magneto, full screen dash. Who gives a shit?
Sentinel.
Sentinel, all that needs to be said is Sentinel.
Yeah.
Screw you, buddy. Go sit in the corner. Storm, my punches are projectiles. Storm's the funny one, because like Magneto, like the other three, you can all point to pretty clearly. This character is filthy because this. You know, Cable is filthy because he's an okay keep away character, but more importantly, he's got a fantastic instant super. Sentinel is filthy because just zone pressures. Get in the corner, stay in the corner, asshole. Magneto is filthy because aggressive rushdown with some decent ability to use the repulsor beam to keep you on notice at range. Also, fucking tracking what was it?
Gravitron something, I think.
Gravitron something. Yeah, the little grab your asshole orbs that track you. Fuck you. Storm though, it's just like there's nothing really dirty about her. She's just that good in terms of fundamentals.
Yeah.
It's the only honorable meta pick for Street Fighter for Marvel 2 is Storm as a team.
Yeah.
Any other picks are either not meta or dishonorable. Play good fundamentals, noob. It is clearly not my fault.
I wish my PC could run Marvel 2 better. I've noticed that especially Hayato is a character that doesn't run well because he leaves behind ghosts when he moves.
Yep. Well, any character that's using a shitload of sprites, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially like, I have to ask you this because obviously I can't see it too well from my perspective. Does Servbot not cause massive frame drops for you when he does his 8 million Servbot super?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
That is peculiar.
Yeah, with Hayato, I think it's like with Hayato, it's a problem because I'm used to main Hayato. I like the guy, but you know. But yeah, I think the problem with him isn't just that he uses additional sprites, but also that there's like special filters on it.
Yeah, probably that's partly it. Yes.
But yeah.
And we also played with Pink, off the top of my head.
We played CVS 2, but Pink didn't really like it, which is a shame.
Yeah, CVS 2, I kind of thought CVS 2, Pink would bounce off of CVS 2. Because CVS 2 is there. If you are a Street Fighter or KOF or Street Fighter and KOF fan, that game is a dream. Otherwise, you're kind of like, well, I can see how this is neat, but the Street Fighter characters, they're iconic, but if you're not into Street Fighter, you know Ryu, you know Chun-Li, you know M. Bison, you know Zangief, but you don't really get it. They just kind of seem like a generic bunch of goobers for people who are not Street Fighter fans.
Yeah.
And if you're not a KOF fan, then you don't know anyone off that roster except Terry. Unless you're in Latin America.
Yeah.
Or Korea. So for Pink, it was, you had shown him KOF before, but I doubt it stuck around in his mind because a lot of the fighting games that we play with Pink don't stick with him because he just is playing them for an hour to get something on recording and then uninstalling. So naturally, CVS 2, you and me are both like, yeah, I can play as Iori versus Evil Ryu. It's finally the edgelords we all wanted to meet are meeting. And for Pink, it's like, wow, I recognize a quarter of this cast.
I just wish
and that's just how it is. CVS 2 is still a great fighting game, but it's very much a fighting game fans fighting game. Whereas anyone could pop in Marvel 2 and be like, oh, hey, it's Captain America.
Yeah. Although I wish we would have gone one match longer in CVS 2 because I wanted to show him that you can play as 3 cabbies. Which
really? How?
The console version that we played allows you to pick the same character multiple times. I know this because while you two were playing, I was trying to figure out if I can make it so the stream won't crash when we're spectating. And doing that, I chose Kemi 3 times. Well, I tried to choose Kemi multiple times as a joke, and it worked.
we can definitely get Pink in for more CVS too. I definitely think he'd be willing to sign on for another session. The question will be, can he find enjoyment in it that time, or will it just kind of turn into a For Honor thing of you and me dragging him into it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like I wouldn't want to make him play the game again just to see 3 cabbies.
Well, at the same time though, you gotta keep in mind that it's a game that both you and I love.
But yeah, but we can
I
just
think
play it against each other.
to suggest, okay, let's give it another try because you and I love it, rather than just simply, hey, Pink, wouldn't it be funny if you played the Ash Girl 3 times?
My thing is just that if you didn't enjoy it, then that's fine. We can just play it against each other. And we feel like playing
Yeah,
CVS.
but Pink's also going to be around sometimes, and
Yeah.
Pink's going to be around when we feel like playing CVS too. And he didn't. It wasn't okay. The only game so far that Pink has just outright reacted badly to, with the sense of "I don't want to play this again," was Darkstalkers when he had only played Felicia and Anna Karis.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I wasn't advising him at the time, but I probably should have told him, yeah, neither of these characters are your character. Which even Darkstalkers, he warmed up once he got to see the side of the cast that I expected him to like. Victor.
Yeah.
Well, him liking Donovan was a shock. But then again, Donovan has like the cool fundamentals stuff that I do kind of expect Pink to like. Pink's a fundamentals kind of guy.
Yeah, he also just straight up didn't see John Talbane because I played him against you while he was still downloading the game, and then then I didn't choose John Talbane again on purpose.
Yeah, I think if we ever play Darkstalkers again, perhaps you should. If Pink gets to see him, it should be you beating on me with John Talbane or him playing John Talbane.
Yeah, I figured if we play again and he sees John Talbane, we'll just ask him to play him instead.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if we ever play Darkstalkers again, that also means we don't have to touch half the cast.
Yes.
Because I don't see any of us playing Lilith.
Oh yeah, Pink tried to play Lilith.
I saw that.
And yeah, he did.
But, like, I have my guys in Darkstalkers that I want to stick with, right? I got, like, Victor's there, Anna Karis is there. I'm not sure about Lord Raptor. Lord Raptor's a weirdo.
Yeah,
I want to give Beavyhood a try.
I mean this thing where like I used to play Lord Raptor before I picked up Talbane. And like my Talbane is apparently too strong, so I can't play my Talbane. Who do I play? Because I didn't like Lord Raptor when we revisited now. So
play John Talbane against me. It's just not on someone who's new, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, have you given Jeddah a shot?
Well, in Marvel, which isn't the same, but you know.
He's a little bit similar, though I haven't put in a lot of time with Darkstalkers Jeddah, and I have to assume Darkstalkers Jeddah has more moves than Marvel Jeddah, just because Darkstalkers is generally a game with big move sets.
Yeah. Like, technically, I have a pocket BB Hood, but I also don't want to play BB Hood because the way that I can play BB Hood is literally just Sagat, and that's not fun.
Yeah. Which I've never played BB Hood. I need to give her a shot sometime because she's not just got high rocket and low rocket.
I mean, in 3, because that's when I learned her moveset. In 3, that's pretty much all she had. It was high rocket, low rocket, and I think she had a jump rocket. That I forgot to input to.
I guess I'll have to try her out then.
But yeah, like high rocket and low rocket, just annihilate. As you would imagine, it is Sagat.
Yep, good old Sagat.
Like
some shit never changes.
Yeah, like the only difference is that like instead of controlling like Sagat, she controls like Liu Kang. No, she controls like Liu Kang if Liu Kang was also Guile. So like you charge, and the motion is back to forward. And depending on whether you press jump or whether you press punch or kick, it goes low or high, I think.
Okay. The bizarre thing is, I want to play Darkstalkers 3 through Fightcade because that way I can play it with you guys. But if I want to practice any of the characters, I open up my copy of Capcom Arcade Collection.
Yeah.
Because that actually has good practice utilities and move lists. That is the thing about playing Fightcade that I'm not going to say like it's a problem, because it's not. You know, it's just the way games were back then. But it is funny every time we play a game that we've never played before on Fightcade. And it's like, okay, let me pull up Strategy Wiki to look at these move lists. Like, even for Marvel 2, which is a game that features a lot of iconic move sets, it's still like, okay, but what does Anna Karis have in this game?
I mean, for me, I just play like I used to back when I first got into these games, which is to say that if I figure out a move, then it's there. If I don't, then it doesn't exist.
There is that, but then you run into the issue that Pink had when we was playing Darkstalkers the other day, where he was playing a bunch of characters who had unnatural inputs on their moves. So Pink was just stuck with normals, and he had a bad time until he got to some other characters that had at least more solid normals.
Yeah.
Because Anna Karis is a dude who's got some normals that are quite neat, but they're weird normals. Like, I mean, admittedly, everything about Anna Karis is just fucking weird. That's just how Anna Karis is. But, you know, that's still, Anna Karis is far from the first character I'd recommend to try out in Darkstalkers, you know?
Yeah.
And come to think of it, it's funny, it just occurred to me, there's 2 Mummy fighting game characters, right?
That I can think
There's
of,
Anna
yeah.
Karis and there's Conra. And those two could not be any more different in terms of playstyle.
Yeah, I guess.
Movement possibilities. Anyways, we also tried well, you've played it a little bit before, but not too much. But for me and Pink, it was the first time trying JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Heritage for the Future.
Yes.
And Jesus Christ, I can see what people are into that game for.
Yeah.
Now that game is not like instant forever love, you know, oh my god, I want to play this game and nothing else. However, when I am in the mood for some fucking japes, I mean, we still need to give Hokuto no Ken a try, but good god, that game is japes.
Hokuto no Ken, I can tell you, feels a lot weightier. There's just this...
It's weightier. It looks weightier. It looks like it's got floatier jumps.
That's the thing.
Going off of what I've seen, which is mostly, of course, the basketball combo.
Yeah, that's the thing though. I don't know if I'd say it has floatier jumps, but I base this on the fact that like there's a startup on dashing. So you put the dash, and it takes like a couple of seconds for the game to go, okay, actually you're running now. And that's
a bit odd, but that's kind of typical for that kind of time period, especially for that to be the very experimental period of Arxis.
Yeah, and that's most of the movement, not the actual attacking, just the movement of that game feels like that.
Interesting. Well, they don't call it Kasoge because it feels good.
Yeah. I mean, some Kasoge can feel good and just be unbalanced, you know?
That's true, because JoJo's didn't feel too bad. JoJo's didn't have the best movement ever, but it also didn't feel bad at all.
Yeah.
And comparatively, like every footage I've ever seen of, for instance, Dong Dong Never Die, that game is classic Kasoge, but the movement does look responsive.
Yeah. But yeah, JoJo's. Neither of you know anything about JoJo, so most of the thing was just me watching y'all play and giving you lore bits.
Yes. I mean, I'm aware of it. I've read plot summaries of it, but like a lot of the names were just getting thrown out of Vanilla Ice, then killed Tupac, but Tupac had a hidden ability that made it where Vanilla Ice died instead. But then Coldplay appeared, and Coldplay said, "But no, you though." So Tupac died instead, and Vanilla Ice was back. But Vanilla Ice revealed that he was molested as a child, and then he kills himself by activating his stand, Easy Lover. And I just go, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm seeing names.
Yeah.
This is rapidly flipping between anime, superpower bullshit, Dragon Ball stuff, and then just bizarre real statements. Like, we will have in one chapter Battle of Stands, who has the greater Nihon fighting spirit. They shout at each other. And then the next one, it'll be, I won by using my penis, and I frightened him. And then I smoked crack and listened to the newest fucking Radiohead album.
You're just reading Araki's journal. You're actually reading
I actually am. I'm trying to meme here, but I'm just kind of writing a real JoJo story.
Well, no. You're not even writing Araki's JoJo story. You're writing the like journal entries that he puts at the end of volumes sometimes, where he just talks about his life.
I hope he skipped the smoking crack part.
No, that's the part. That's the part that like he's less likely to talk about scaring people with his penis, and more likely to talk about smoking crack.
Then,
I mean, one of those things. Like, may I remind you, Hirohiko Araki is the man who in one of these journal entries revealed that he has a bug bite fetish. So.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
Nonetheless. Help us all. Please.
So yeah, JoJo's. How did you like the cast? I guess.
Let's see. Out of the weirdos I saw, the last character I really put in any time with was weirdo child man Axeman, who is smelly in every possible way.
Yeah, Alisi.
Yeah, Alisi is not just smelly in terms of, the mere existence of this character is suspect and makes me ask questions about Araki, but also he just pulls at, he has the gun, he has the same weird gun mechanic that Duck Hunt Dog has in Smash. The issue is, in Smash, that's not a super strong move, because Smash has a big screen and the characters are relatively small on it, and there's a lot of movement. JoJo's has a standard fighting game perspective, and characters aren't really that fast. They don't have that crazy a movement. So that feels dirty to begin with. But just, nonetheless, the dumber the characters got, the more interesting they were, right?
Yeah.
You're playing, like, I don't know, let's say Polnareff. Polnareff just seemed like, I don't know, it's a fighting game dude. Okay. This character does the same things that Mitsuru does in Persona, but he's less cool, I guess. The characters that were just like, what the fuck, were the characters that were actually neat ideas and seemed neat to play with, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Young Joseph, Pet Shop, Iggy, Whole Horse in both variants, apparently. Rubber Soul, is that what you called him?
Yes.
Rubber Soul seemed real weird. Jotaro and Dio were cool, I guess, for them to be relatively standard fighting game characters. Shadow Dio was weird, but he was cool. The version of Polnareff that's possessed by the sword was alright.
Yeah, fucking Black Polnareff.
Yeah, Black Polnareff. Who's the main dude that had Anubis?
I don't know that guy's name. Which one are you talking about? The skinny guy or the other one?
The skinny one, not the chef that's shaped like a gorilla.
Yeah, the chef.
The gorilla. The gorilla's a different character.
Yeah, the chef is Shaka. I know that. The other guy, I have no clue. He's just dude.
Okay, that guy seemed neat. The idea of switching between sword and non-sword stances, and Shaka, you said, right?
Yes.
Shaka was cooler though. The ability to just turn into a spinning top was fun.
Yeah.
So a really solid cast of fucking weirdos.
Yeah. I'd like to note that you know the PS4 game or Ensemble Lore.
Yeah.
That wasn't made by Capcom, but when that it felt like it feels like it, having played more of Heritage for the Future. It feels like Bandai went up to CyberConnect and went, okay, so make Heritage for the Future, but change it enough that we won't get sued. Like a lot of the moves, a lot of specials, a lot of the inputs that I'm not sure, but a lot of the specials and moves remain the same between the two games. And the characters have like 90% the same move set if they're shared between the two.
Interesting, because the only characters I got to play when we played All Star Battle R were Young Joseph, Jotaro, and Dio, right?
So young Joseph wasn't in the demo. It was Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan. I was about to say, because it's like, really? Because I remember Young Joseph's moveset being entirely different in All Star Battle R.
It was Jonathan. It was Dio, and it was it only just Jotaro? I forget. It probably was.
Or being anyone else. Like, that doesn't add up to a nice clean 4, but
Yeah, but they could have invented it anyway.
nonetheless. Oh, that puppet character was weirdo in Heritage.
Yeah.
That guy was funny. Avdol became a lot more fun once I figured out that you could disconnect his stand from him, which I think that's what we're going to have to figure out if we keep playing that game. That's what we're going to have to figure out with all the stand characters is how do you disconnect the stand.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play her, but I got to see plenty of her. Bette Midler seemed hilarious.
Yeah.
Just makes a car appear out of the ground. Fuck you. What's her normals? She summons a sumo head.
What's her normal's car?
Yeah. The other chick also seemed like an oddball.
Maria, yeah.
Old Joseph is probably fun to play, but he's a menace to play against. Because every time I saw the damn Hermit Purple tentacles come out, I just went, oh, god damn it, not again.
Yeah. Old Joseph, like old Joseph is technically, I think, like mid, if not low tier, because of the amount of bullshit that you can get down to once you actually know these characters. But it's one of those things where like old Joseph can switch between close quarters combat stance, which is just young Joseph, and Omega Red. And oh boy,
painful about old Joseph and Omega Red is that they get relative like it's a playstyle that gets easy, not free hits, but easy long distance pokes.
Yeah.
And you sit there for a while taking it. So it's painful every time because it's like it's not just that you got hit with a poke that you probably should have seen coming. It's now I need to sit here for a solid 2 or 3 seconds while my character gets the suck.
Yeah.
And that's a good poke, so I'm going to be taking it a lot.
Yeah, I need to figure out if there's an entire version of it like Omega Red has. Because if so,
God,
then
Omega Red can do it straight up in some games. I don't think he can do it in Marvel 2, but in Children of the Atom, he can do it straight up.
Yeah.
Children of the Atom, Omega Red is smelly, by the way.
I figure. I'm gonna say this right now. I probably shouldn't play Omega Red because I actually used to play him in Marvel 1. So if you play Children of the Atom,
memory serves. There's never really been a super well balanced. There's never really been a super well balanced Marvel game. So naturally, even Children of the Atom, it more or less boils down to we've got Wolverine, who is a really strong rushdown. We've got Sentinel, who is really strong pressure, because of course he is. He's strong in every fucking game. And we've also got Omega Red here, who's just good at everything.
yeah. I was about to say, like, if we get around to playing on Children of the Atom, I just shouldn't be allowed to play Omega Red. Probably, it would probably be on another fucking ghetto situation.
Children of the Red is Children of the Red.
Yeah.
That's that game's equivalent of Marvel Sentinel versus Sentinel 3, Tale of Two Sentinels.
Yeah, or the Super Street Fighter 4 Twist Edition.
Man, something just occurred to me. We've talked before about in Latin America, you're not allowed to pick Rugal and KOF, or they'll take you up back and beat you with fucking steel pipes, lead pipes.
Yeah.
But my God, you want to talk about another decision that gets you taken out back and beaten with lead pipes, and not just in Latin America, anywhere in the world. Play Marvel 2, pick a team of all Sentinels.
Yeah.
That is like, you see your opponent do that at the cabinet. You just put one hand on the back of his neck, the other hand on the belt of his pants, and you just drag him out the front door and throw him.
Now you just sucker punch them right then and there.
You backhand them like Batman.
Yeah, you do a roaring elbow.
You pick them up and you suplex them. You German suplex them.
Into the cabinet.
Still standing at the cabinet with his hand on the lever. You just slowly creep behind him, put him in a waist lock, suplex.
Yes.
You call in your buddy for a tag finish. He lifts him up.
You do the 3D. You do the 3D to the guy with your buddy.
The 3D. You stand up on top of the cabinet while he lifts him up, and you do the Doomsday device.
Yes. You do the poison rana variant to make sure that their neck gets broken.
And you do the non-safe variant where the guy who's holding him up does not go down with him, he just stands.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Either
which way. Yeah, JoJo's Heritage for the Future is a insane game.
Yes, it's very fun.
Yes. It do be bonkers. We can add it firmly into the fun Kusoge pool.
Yes.
Which, I mean, we don't have a lot of fun Kusoge games that we have easy access to.
True.
Especially not with Pink.
Yeah.
Now, let's see. We hit something else that night, didn't we? Because Pink wandered off after, during JoJo's. And we hit something else afterwards, didn't we?
Shinihon.
Oh, right. We did New Japan, and then Pink came back. Right. And then we did Darkstalkers. That's right. Shit, we played a lot that day. And then, didn't we then that night play WWE?
Yeah, for like 7 hours, if not more.
Yeah, this was 2 days ago, and I somehow have forgotten that it all occurred on the same day. Good work, brain. And odds are we're probably going to play WWE for another 7 hours tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, we have just come back into a fucking content. What's the opposite of a drought? Deluge of content once more.
Tsunami.
Content Nami. God help us all. Shit. Which reminds me, we should probably wrap this up sometime soon, and I'll still stay in the Discord call because Pink's going to be here in just a little bit.
Yeah.
But, well, for one thing, we probably want to wrap this up before Pink gets in here, so the end of this recording isn't just Pink going, "Hey, guys!" But also so I can step out to eat something real quick.
Yes. Well,
yeah,
then.
The good times are rolling.
Yes. Let's see. I did have a topic or two, but I don't remember what they are. I need to look at them.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, I wanted to raise this because I don't know if this was a wholly my knowledge, or if it's just not well known. So someone put out a list of stat-based fighting games, and it features some names that you'd figure. It features names that you probably don't, and that's what I want to know if you know any of these that I don't. Because you have, of course,
stand-based fighting games.
yes, stand-based fighting games. And the list is Heritage for the Future, which, yes, All-Star Battle R,
Obviously.
All-Star Battle R, also obviously.
Yes.
Persona 4 Arena, which, yeah.
Yes.
Rabbit.
Rabbit? Never heard of it.
Me neither. And then also Demon Bride.
Demon what?
Bride.
Never heard of that.
Okay, then it's not just me. But yeah, it features covers for both of those games. I'm gonna post a picture to you so you can see. And I mean, they look like games. Like, I have never heard of either of these.
Nope.
There you have it.
You can also count the puppet characters in BlazBlue.
Yes, but I guess the difference is that not everybody in BlazBlue has a stand, which, like, not everybody in JoJo has a stand. So,
yeah,
you know.
There's also Zato and Guilty Gear if we're going for the discount counts.
Yeah. Seems like that's it. I'm gonna look at do a real quick search to see if there were any news that came out while we were recording. But other than that, it seems like we're fine to wrap up.
Hey, Mike, Discord, Mike. There we go. The microphone wasn't working. Okay.
Ah.
All right then.
I like this thing immediately as I load it up. I just hate blocking.
I just hate blocking. All right, sir. I have something new to tell you about.
Rush down.
Have you considered throws? To be fair, rush down, you can still be blocked by people who are good at blocking.
That's true. There's a post, a flagged news. The post just says Ryu. It's a picture of you. Cool. Good news.
Excellent.
I am bending over. That's everyone's response to Sexy Ryu.
Yes. Okay. Does not seem like there's anything really interesting to talk about. So yeah, I guess fighting games were. Like, I guess you're not saying fighting games were.
Fighting games were. I did say it, but the mic didn't pick it up. God damn it.